to Boxing Forum 24. So here we go. If we go down, so this is Surfing HB is the person's handle. He says, I'm honored to say welcome, champ. So he's welcoming you online. St. Pat. He says, glad to see, welcome to the Classic Forum. And he says, glad to see you here. Your career brought me great joy. Honored to have you with us. If you're entertaining questions, I'd like to know what fighters you looked up to in your earliest days as a boxer. Who were your biggest fan or considered your boxing heroes? So who were your boxing heroes growing up?
I think growing up, I only had one, and that was Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali.
That's right.
All right, so moving
on.
We have,
I mean, as I grew older, as I grew older and started learning the sport of boxing, you know, there was quite a few guys that I liked the way they did things. But, you know, as a fan to the sport, I was an Ali fan all day.
Who wasn't?
All right.
Who wasn't, right, Marlon? Who wasn't?
Exactly, who wasn't?
Right, who wasn't? So again, we're on Boxing Forum 24. All right, so on Boxing Forum 24, we have Michael Mullen. He said, welcome, champ. You're one of boxing's most unheralded, underrated defensive wizards, in my humble opinion. And that's what I'm interested in most. I hope other posters likewise are interested in the aspects of your career. So this guy's a big fan of your defense. So another person.
Well, I
know Tim likes that.
Yeah, because he was tough. He didn't back off of nobody. That's what I
kept his hands up.
That's the way I took the sport. The number one, a lot of people don't realize, that's a job, and it's a tough job, and it's a lonely job. But you know, if you want to be the best, you got to go out there and you got to be in shape. You see a lot of guys back in that 70, 80 era. You see a lot of guys that was getting tired fast. It's all because they was cheating themselves.
Yes, I was one of them, champ.
Okay, you know it. You know what you got to do to get in shape.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And you know, real quick, champ, and then real quick, you know, sometimes I was depressed a little bit about not getting paid right, and the things didn't go. We didn't have money to a whole lot of to get in shape, and that's what got me down. You know, the point is didn't get the funds to start training, and know what's going to get ripped off. So that's why sometimes I didn't get motivated.
Well, you know what? Right now, I when I got into the sport, I got into it because of Muhammad Ali, and I loved the sport. And when I first bought my first robe, it was just like Muhammad Ali's.
It was red and white,
and it was black and white.
Oh, black and white. Okay.
And then and then you know, at that time, you know, the people that was running it mainly was Don King and Bob Arum. And you know, when you signed in contracts for different people, you don't want to sign your life away. You want what's right for you. But you know, you don't know. You know what you do know is, you know, boxing. I want to fight. But you don't know. You don't know the money and stuff that the people be getting behind you. You don't know. You don't know those things as a youngster. You just know. You know, I want to fight. So I learned a lot about people in the sport of boxing.
That's great. So all right, moving on to this person here. Their handle is No Neck. I'll start this off. who was the best guy you fought?
Uh-oh.
The best guy I fought.
Yep.
That's the question?
Yep. The guy wants to know who's the best fighter you fought, I guess is another way of saying it.
Okay. The best guy I fought. Okay. I think the best guy I fought, believe it or not, he beat me, but now it's always a but, right? He beat me. He beat me because I wasn't in great condition for that fight. No question, the guy who beat me was a good fighter.
Right.
And that fighter was Donald Curry.
Okay, he was a good boxer.
And I fought him. Right. But that was me and Donald Curry's second fight. The first fight, I beat him, and I knew that in my heart, but he got the decision. He got that decision because he was hooked up until Bob Arams, and I forgot the name of that organization at the time, but he was hooked up to that organization at the time. But everybody did everything to stay out of the way of Marlon Stalin.
Oh wow!
I believe that. I believe it. You was tough. You was tough. Especially when you lift that leg up high and bring it down.
I tell you what. Right. One thing about that, people would say to me, "Oh, do the Stalin stop." You know what? I couldn't do it for somebody. It's a rhythm. Oh. It's a. I was riding. It's a rhythm where, you know, I felt like I got it all in control.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
great stuff.
Cool. So here's your next person. Rocky Marciano is their handle name, and they say, "Welcome, champ. You and Tim were some of the best fighters of your generation." Flo Raiden, it's a huge honor having you here, champ. Welcome to the forum, and looking forward to seeing other legends on here. This is Thistle.
Hey, okay. How you doing, Thistle? This is Marlon Stalin.
He says, "Welcome, sir. It'll be a pleasure to get insight and statements surrounding boxing and, of course, your own excellent career. Thank you for coming along. Welcome." Another person here, he says, Steve G, welcome. Hello, Marlon. Glad you're on the site. We have Jarama. Fantastic to have someone like Marlon on here. Hope all is well with you.
Wow.
Ipswich
Express. Welcome, Magic Man. Thanks for the memories.
Hey, you guys, I thank you guys for following me. I had fun. One thing I did know is be in shape to give the people what they want to see. They didn't want to see somebody in that ring out of shape. And every day I got out on the road and was running those miles, I was thinking about my fans.
Wow.
Wow. That is something.
People remember the show that you put on for them. No
That's
doubt.
awesome, man.
We have Tech KS. Much appreciative of you and Tim being on here. I still love watching y'all fights and glad to be fortunate enough to get your insights. Dynamic Puncher. Welcome, Mr. Starling. Pleasure to have you here. I recently watched your second fight versus Donald Curry. What a great fight that was. Again, another
we were just talking about it.
Yeah, that's right. We did. We watched it. Welcome, champ. And then we have another one. Rules make it interesting. Welcome, champ. Let's see if we get to some questions here. Another welcome, champ from Merc20. Journeyman 92.
Did you introduce him to Bruce officially?
Yeah, Bruce is. Did we?
No.
I think Bruce already knows him.
I was talking to Marlon on the phone today. He's going to come on my show tomorrow night.
Yeah, he got a picture with him up at the event, Tim. They were together.
Right. Okay.
Remember, this is one of my prized possessions, Marlon. You remember signing this for me, don't you, brother?
Put it in the light, Bruce. Put it in the light. That's you, Marlon.
That's Marlon with about 5 belts hanging over his shoulder and around his waist. That's the USBA belt, the NABF belt, the WBC belt, and the WBA belt.
Got to get some more of them so we can sign,
and the North American belt.
The NABF, the North American, the North American Boxing Federation, man. You know that's one of my prized possessions, brother. One of the nicest things I came out of that weekend with.
That's nice.
So, all right, here's your next guy, Journeyman 92. This is unreal. Hope you are here for a long time, Marlon. Another one, Chris J asks, welcome. Now here's a question, St. Pat. You gotta tell us about the origins of the Starling Stop.
The Starling Stop.
Everybody. When I was fighting, I got into that ring in shape, and so when I got into that ring, I was driving. I felt like I was driving a car. And I was just, moving my body back and forth. And when a guy fell for one of those wild punches, I just had a bounce that bounced me back. And from one day I did that. After that, everybody kept saying, "Oh, the Starling Stop, the Starling Stop." I know I really had fun doing it. I really, I really enjoyed the people. Give me the Starling Stop, the Starling Stop. But it was a rhythm. It was a rhythm that I was driving a car in the ring.
Oh, okay.
Wow. All right, so you got Sad 54. This is a long one here. Marlon, it was a glorious day in late August 1987 when you knocked out the insanely hyped Mark Berlin on ABC. Breland, sorry. I show my ignorance, guys. I had followed you since 1984 and knew you had a shot, but the outcome was even better than I hoped. I couldn't watch the fight as my parents made me go to the beach that weekend and we didn't have a TV. We were camping out. But I heard the results on my transistor radio that picked up a CBS News report of the result. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for posting on this fine board.
I thank you too so much because that night, I think a couple of days before that fight, don't forget now, we fighting Mark Breeden. He was a Olympic champion. He never lost a fight. And they booked that fight so much. And to me, I was fighting a rookie in so many words. Because he didn't know the tactics. There's a difference between amateurs and pros. When he got into that ring, he got in there with a pro. So I knew I had to do what I had to do. And if that meant rough him up, I had to do that to win that fight. I was in there for one thing, and that was to bring that belt home to Hartford, Connecticut. I'm telling you this. Mark Breeden's jab hurt like most guys' right hands. I had to find a way to stay out of the range of that jab and also find a way to get in to hit him with some good shots. And I had him on a goal like in the 9th round. And I every time I hit him, I heard him saying or that. And I know if I get my right combos together, I was going to get him. I wasn't going home without that title.
Awesome. Well, you have here another question. Richard M. Morita. Welcome. Well, it's not a question. I'm sorry. It's a statement. He's just saying, welcome to the site, champ. We have Kaliniki. Welcome, champ. Night Train. Looks like, oh, no, he's awarded Stake 863. Welcome, champ. Thrilled to talk to one of the greatest defensive fighters ever.
I know Tim likes that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, listen. You got a good defense. You got a good defense. I had one. God bless you. Yup.
You'll like the next name, Tim. Seamoss.
Hey,
that's your favorite.
No, Dean like that too. No, Dean don't be doing Seamoss.
He said, "Hey, champ, did you think you beat Mo Blocker? I thought you did. Why did you hang them up after that?
I thought I did too. I thought I did too. And once again, that was a stage of the Duvas. I mean, that guy was. I tell you, it wasn't one of my best fights, but I won that fight.
All right, so Journeyman just kind of backing up.
Next time we come on, try to get more light in your thing, okay, Marlon? More light into your screen, all right?
We got a spotlight, Marlon. You got to get a spotlight. We got to put it right on your face.
You know I'm sorry.
No, you okay, but you can't get some more light. See, like I got more light, and we all got. Try to get more light.
Okay, yep. I see you.
Your fans want to see your face.
I'm tired.
Not now. When the next time, if you can get some.
Okay.
Get it
all right.
Okay,
So
we
got
Brian.
Mendoza. Welcome. I look forward to hearing about the other side of boxing the fans seldom see or are familiar with, along with stories of Nunn, Breland, and Honey Did I say that right, guys?
Hunnigan.
Okay. When the time is right. I like your speed and accuracy with the hook to the head and body, your combinations, and, of course, your defense.
I thank you so much. I know that the name of boxing is hit and don't get hit. I can fight 15 rounds. I don't want to get hit once or twice. So the idea is to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself in that gym every day to be away from the person that's hitting you. I don't care how hard he hit, or you have to be able to position yourself and keep your hands up. They always tell you, I had a trainer that always say, bring your hands back. Because when you throw them out there, you got to bring them back. Don't throw them out there and let them fall to the floor. Because if you let your hands fall to the floor, you going to fall to the floor.
I like that.
No, I like the way he kept his hands up. Like Dean was just talking. He had a good defense too. I love the way you kept like this and stepped to people, man. You kept your D like that and just step and then bang right back there.
Yeah,
that was cool. And you stepped right to everybody you fought.
Yeah.
I thank you, man.
Can I ask the champ a question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Marlon, I want to go back to the night you fought Thomas Molinares. And that's the only time that I've ever seen you knocked out, and it was after the bell. But they declared that fight a no contest. Now, why did the WBA not give you back your title? You had to go beat Lloyd Hunnigan for the WBC title in your next fight, and you would have been unified because that fight was declared no contest. But yet the WBA gave the belt to Molinares. Why?
Because they wanted some kind of spot to get Breland in there.
Oh,
I mean, listen, it was nobody's fault but Marlon Scollins for getting hit.
Okay.
People, I mean, I'll tell everybody that's out there today, You have to bring your hands back. I got too comfortable. And when I got comfortable, I got so comfortable. I mean, I was making curve moves. I was having fun. I beat this guy good. But you know what? I didn't win the fight. I didn't win the fight because I let my hands down and got hit. There's no way in the world this guy could have won that fight. But Marlon Stalin made the mistake. And in this sport, it only takes one. You make one mistake.
It must be something when you see all these fighters now. A lot of times you watch fighters, they drop their hands and they, that you must say to yourself, man, you want to get great, you got to keep them hands up.
Got to keep the hands up. They got fundamentals. They all want to do the shoulder roll and all that stuff and be Mayweather, but why you got to do the fundamentals and basics first, and develop yourself and create an identity. For there's not a lot of fighters with identity to nowadays, but like Tim had identity overhand right, and Marlon had big time identity too with his style of fighting. But the kids today, they got to stick to the fundamentals, bring their hands back, and and move ahead. But like I tell them, you can peek out of it, but you just want to keep them up. And I find if a fighter, for everybody listening, if a guy keeps his hands up, okay, the guy in front of him is less reluctant to throw more punches. If a guy's got his hands down and he's trying to do this, I feel like there's more opportunity. So that's just what I see. So if you want to get good defense, get those hands up.
Exactly.
Advice, guys. And then you have hold that, something like that. Nice to meet you, Marlon. So there's only a few other ones here. We had Richard M. Marita again. He said, the way you care, the way you care of, or took care of, I think the way you took care of Lloyd Hunnigan, did I say it right, guys?
Yeah, Hunnigan. Lloyd
Hunnigan was very instrumental, champ. And Hunnigan took care of Donald Curry on September 27, 1987. Hunnigan seemed to intimidate his opponents, but you were not rattled. You took care of business. A title bout with Sugar Ray Leonard and yourself with great fight. I hope to see more. I'll see more of your posts.
Marlon.
All right, we got
talk about that, Marlon. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, that night, I knew that I was the best welterweight in the world. I didn't say in the United States. At that particular time, Marlon Stalin was the best welterweight in the world. And I had a big fight coming up. And I was fighting Molinares. Okay. My contract was signed with the Dubas. And like I said, I trained my butt off for that fight. I did everything in that Molinares fight, but win it. One thing that I will say, and I'm telling you young guys out there, they always tell you, keep your hands up at all times. Soon as the bell rung, I spit my body around right quick, and I spit my body around right into a right hand. Sure, he hit me after the bell, but I should have kept my hands up at all. So it was both of our fault. For years, I've been saying it was both of our faults. I know that because we know that Molinares didn't have a chance to beat me. But you know what? It was Marlon Stalin's fault for letting him hit you like that.
So here you go. Here's Cecil.
That's all
he
I
says,
got to say about that.
"Oh, this is great. Look forward to hearing your insights, champ." And then Eddie Izzard, he says, "Super fighter. What a clinic you put on against Hunnigan. A less happy memory for you might be when you sparred with Tommy Hearns prior to his fight with Leonard and he broke your jaw. Sorry to bring it up, but we'd love to hear what it was like sparring with a young Hearns, I'm sure. You've created quite a stir, Marlon. A lot of us really thrilled to have you here. Look forward to anything you can contribute and hope that you're in good shape. So he wants to know a little bit about that Hearns sparring match.
Okay, that Hearns sparring match, it was great because a lot of people at that time, a lot of people was talking about how devastating he was. But you know, when I got there, maybe on a Friday, right? And they told me that I was going to spar with Tommy Hearns, you know, help him get ready for Ray, right? And when I got there, they was working out and everything, and a day went by, and you know, I had a fight scheduled for back in Connecticut, but a day went by, and they didn't let me spar with Tommy. And I kept telling them, "Hey, if I'm not gonna spar, send me home." And then Manny, I said, "Okay." So I got in the ring with Tommy, and you can ask Tommy. He didn't get the best out of that workout because nobody, not even myself, know my jaw was broke. When I left that sparring session, I got back to Freddie's room, and I said to Freddie, I said chew it because I always chewed gum. I said, Fred, you know what, man? I said, because my nose was running. I said, Freddie, you know, I think my jaw might be broke. And he said, your jaw ain't broke. You chewing like that, your jaw ain't broke. I said, you know what? Take me to the hospital. And I didn't want to go to the hospital late that night. And I said, take me to the hospital, let me see. When I went to the hospital, listen now, it happened like in the first or second round, right? We went 3 rounds.
Just straight right hand champ. What did he hit you with?
It was a right hand, I believe. But you know what? He didn't know he broke my jaw, and neither did I. He got a good shot in, but I got a lot of good shots in.
Wow.
I got my jaw broke too. Champ. I was real quick. I was sparring with this boxer named Lightning Bob, and I was teaching him how to throw a left hook while I was sparring with him. As soon as I opened my mouth, he hit me with a left hook, and I heard this noise in my ear. Like woo, and so I kept on boxing, and I said then about 10 seconds, and then I stopped. I said something wrong, okay. But I heard this noise after I got hit, like a hollow, like a woo, like something. And then I said, no. So we stopped, and I went to the doctor. They said, your jaw was broke.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Lightning Bob. Remember Lightning Bob, Dean? You remember?
I don't know. But did they wire you?
He died.
Did they
wired it up? Yeah, they wired it up. Did they wire yours, Champ?
They wired, yeah.
Did they wire mine up? You know, my jaw. I was lucky. At that time. I had a gap between my front teeth. I had a little gap between my front tooth. You know what? I wouldn't wish a broken jaw on nobody. Not because it wasn't a big punch. It was because you can't eat.
Oh, he's right. I had to stick food down there. I had to crunch it up and stick it through this hole.
Wow.
I mean, I had to eat baby food.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I ate all kinds of.
Yeah,
Wow.
eat like a baby, right? You had to crush it up and stick it in your mouth, right? Yeah. I lost weight too. Marlon. I lost weight.
That's a tough way to lose weight.
That's a diet. That's a diet that Tim is on right now. He tells me he puts this thing in at night.
Well, he was saying the other days, but he was sticking food in that gap that he's got in the side there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim. He's everybody. Tim's back to being 100% vegetarian. So we're gonna see how much weight he is.
Yeah, this is my favorite way.
Ryan, you got some questions in our chat room too, man. I don't think you want to neglect those.
Yeah, I'll get to them right after this here because this is for the Boxing Forum people, and then we'll go right to that. Not a problem. So the long count asks, what was your game plan when facing the undefeated great amateur Mark Breland?
He answered that.
My thing was, when I was fighting Mark Breland, one thing I knew about that fight was you're not gonna get out of here with a decision. Mm-hmm. The only way you gotta get out of here is to knock him out.
Yeah, you said that in the last live we did. You said that you had to knock him out.
I mean, that's
again. What's that? I'm sorry. Did I get off?
Breland had a very good right hand, but he didn't throw it right. But he had a very good right hand, and what happened that night was Breland. He got in the ring with a professional. That's why he lost that fight. He lost that fight because I wasn't going to let him win that fight.
Wow. All right. So now you have another one, no neck. What would have happened if you fought Duran and Leonard?
You know, I think me and Duran, me and Leonard would have been a good fight. But I think me and Duran would be like a miniature war. Because Duran had, as they would call it, Duran had balls. He wanted to eat you, and I was ready for that. I was ready for that. I wanted. Duran was one of the best fighters out there in my era. I mean, I have. There's nothing I can say about Duran, because Duran is what they call a consummate professional.
So I had to change my name there. I had your name up there still, Tim. I don't quite look like the two-time champion.
So Marlon, like I sparred with Thomas the Hitman Hearns too when he was getting ready to fight Nate Miller. How do you rate his jab? How do you rate Tommy's jab?
Good question.
He had a good jab, but see, he had a good jab. If he stung you with it good, but see, I was a guy. It was hard. It was hard to hit me with that jab because I always kept my hands up. But he had a stiff jab. He knocked somebody down with the jab. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like when I sparred with him, he would use the jab less, not so much as a weapon, but more as a decoy to set up his right hand. That's what I found with it.
Exactly. One thing about Tommy. One thing about Tommy. Tommy likes to fight.
Yeah.
You know, if you notice, I didn't say he likes to box. Tommy likes to fight.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can, that was one of Kronk's best all-time fighters. And you know, he was a boxer, don't get me wrong, but he was one of the best Kronk boxers that ever lived.
Amen.
He lacked defense, champ. He lacked defense. He was all super offense.
He had that mentality.
His defense wasn't really that good.
It was, but his mentality was his defense, was his aggression, his offense. You know,
a lot of people will be saying the best defense is the offense because they don't know how to teach defense. So they tell a boxer that. And ever since I was little, and I was told that by Slim, he said, "Hey, there's a lot of trainers out there. They keep emphasizing on best defense as offense because they can't teach defense." And so I saw Tommy banging. He was an excellent offensive guy. In terms of defense, his offense was trying to keep you off. But if you get to him, the fight could be ended.
Right.
Sugar Ray did it, but
I tell you, I one of my main things was, and I tell anybody that wants to what they call learn defense, the object is keep your hands up at all times and bring your punches back. Don't let them come down to your shoulder. Bring your hands right back to your face.
You know, that's the thing. That's why the youth and a lot of boxers in these gyms today are not the level to when the 70s, the 80s, and even 90s when has gone down a lot because a lot of these they don't want to let a lot of these guys, they have gyms, they have money to open the boxing gyms and whatnot, and they run them that way. But the real knowledge is the guys that done it and whatnot, and a lot of these gyms, they don't want that in there but really they're hurting the fighters, and they could make their gyms awesome, but they got to get over the egos and accept that this man was like 2-time heavyweight champ, but this guy is to run all the belts or whatever. But that's what I see today is too much. That's what's hurting. That's what's hurting the guys going to the next level. They're being taught by guys learning from YouTube and stuff like that. That's what I see.
Real quick, Dean. You are 100% right. Now, I went into one gym. I ain't saying no names. I was in one gym for a little bit. I got negative feedback. I went to another gym. I'm getting feedback, negative feedback, because when you go in there and start training people and it looks better than the other guy, then you get these bad faces. And I'm not going to say no names, but I'm going through what you're talking about right now. So I got to be humble. When I go in, I'm humble. I let them just get there. And for instance, today, we was getting ready to go in and do pad work, and the individual said he was just wrapping his guy's hand. And I said, we get ready to do the pad. He said, no, we get ready to go in. We got to go in first. And I said, okay, go ahead. So we went last. It was like 2 people went ahead of us. So to avoid any kind of conflict, I let them go first. I've been a gentleman. But they didn't want us to go in and see and show all the stuff first. I wasn't interested in showing people. I just want to get the kid in shape. But they didn't want me to show the skills. And so we went last. I said, okay, you can go, no problem. We hit the heavy bag. And then these other guys went in, and we had to wait again. So we was the last ones in. So I know what you're talking about.
Right, and I see these guys that go into these gyms, and they the youngsters, they're being taught wrong, and they just they're just doing what they want to be, like I said, the Mayweathers and thing. But what really takes to be successful in boxing, what you really need is discipline. You want to get those hands up, you need discipline. A lot of these guys, they just want to throw their punches and just leave them out there and look at them. But if you really if you really want to be successful, you got to have discipline in anything, and you want to bring your hands back. But that's what I see today. I had to bring up the subject about that, champ, because we talked about it and whatnot, but it's wrong. If I owned a business, if I was in boxing, like at a box, and didn't have at a gym, and I could have the 2-time heavyweight champ and Marlon Starling coming through just to float around to give a little bit of knowledge, priceless right there.
Right.
So,
right. You said that. I believe defense is number 1 too.
Amen.
Because anybody can throw their hands.
Anybody. Oh, that's cool. Oh, a baby, real quick. A baby, listen, a baby can throw
Anybody
punches,
can throw
but
those
a
hands.
baby
But
can't
I
block.
believe,
Go ahead,
I
champ.
honestly believe,
You just,
but
you
I
know,
believe you have to learn the basic left right hook. And they have to come all the way. They have to. I'm not asking you to be a Sugar Ray Leonard or just throw a one left right hook. You can if you can throw a left right hook, you can go some places. A lot of these guys, believe you me, don't know the basics left right hook. I had a good trainer. Eddie Futch was one of the best ever.
Yep, you're right.
Do you know the thing about it is it takes, you know, a lot of people think it takes courage and you know, balls to be coming forward. No, it takes courage to stand your ground and keep your hands up and block those shots and slip and slide, and then you can retaliate. But if you keep stepping backwards every time someone shows a little aggression, you're going to be right on the end of everything. So you know, wow, you got to either, you know, get those hands up, I tell everybody, and you know, move your head and the fundamentals and the basics, you know, that's what people do.
That leads right into the next question here. Awarded Stake 863 wants to know, and I think you guys will all probably like this question. Hello, champ. Curious about the high guard and when you started to use it. Not a lot of American fighters used it in those days, but you were very effective defensively with it.
I thank you so much. You know, you know, people used to ask me, how did you learn that? I learned it by getting hit. and my, you know, and one of my coaches said, bring your hands back to where you threw them at. Don't bring your hands back and let them fall down and come back to your chin. Bring them back right where you come from. And ever since then, I had no problem. I had no, you know, I'll tell a guy, oh, I'm going to fight this guy. This guy can punch. It didn't matter if he can punch or not, because he wasn't going to hit me. He may hit the glove. He may hit the side of it, but he's not going to hit me. The only time I got hit, and I got hit right, and that was that Maldonado hit me with that punch after the bell.
Wow. So